Hello everyone, my name is Tang-Yin. My major is International Management and Design Innovation. The topic of my project is Cultural Economy, how to revival the urban tourism industry after COVID-19. This is my final presentation. In the second interim review, according to the desk research, I proposed to build a hotel with Macintosh, as it's seen by combining the interim design of Macintosh and provide activities such as Scottish dance that can make people feel the enthusiasm of local residents, so as to establish a unique competitive priority. Decorate Glasgow with elements designed by Macintosh to unify the urban style, and design a nightlife area along the Clyde River in line with Asia's tourism form. Different slogans can be used to attract tourists from different regions. According to the feedback and some answers from the email constellation, I adjusted the draft framework. The core of the whole design framework is still based on Macintosh. In view of the background of the COVID-19 and Glasgow's want to develop the Asia's tourist market, like India and China, I made adjustments and designs mainly based on the feedback from Asia's tourists on Glasgow's tourist situation first. In order to unify the design language of the city better, I first designed the city slogan. Macintosh font and Glasgow Rose design are being used, which not only keep the enthusiasm of the Glasgow people, but also add their own cultural elements. I put forward a new framework to find a better way of cooperation between the museum and Macintosh. According to the investigation, although there are many museum resorts in Glasgow, it is not the museum that attracts the people to travel to Glasgow, and not many people are willing to spend time visiting museums. Therefore, finding effective way to use museum resources, attracting tourists to museums, and making them feel fun is one of the ways that Glasgow wants to develop the tourism industry and can effectively reduce cost. Because Glasgow wants to develop the Asia's market, I create a persona. It's a family. Michelle is an international student. Her parents will come to attend her graduation ceremony in 2021. According to the research, the majority of Asia's tourists in Glasgow come from international students in this city. Therefore, I think that the new students' registration, graduation ceremony, and the traditional Asia's festival are the time point that can be emphasized in promoting the Asia's market in the future. When Michelle's mother said that she hoped Michelle could help her arrange this trip, Michelle searched the relevant information on the internet. She found that Riverside tourist area is the most distinctive place in Glasgow. There is Riverside Hotel, the largest landmark building in Glasgow, which can also provide the most unique living environment and experience. This hotel decorated in Macintosh style. The hotel is located in West End, where it's relatively safe, and the subway station is nearby. Who stays in this hotel will be managed according to when they agree to receive the temperature test or not. She thinks that it can provide her parents with a safe and more reliable environment. And then she searched from some videos about this hotel from YouTube and Twitter. The Riverside tourist area is a newly developed tourist area in Glasgow. located around the Riverside Museum with the Riverside Hotel as its core. The closing time of the shopping mall in this area will be later than the city center, about 7 to 8 p.m. The brands in the shopping mall are mainly Scottish local brand, followed by British brand at the same time. They will provide an area for handicraft sales similar to the Christmas market. For a long time, cooperating with GSA could be considered to provide a unique handicraft for the external and internal design of the hotel. The hotel could cooperate with the Macintosh Research Institute to restore the existing drawings. How to make effective use of existing museum resource? My assumption is that the hotel will provide a rubber stamp collection book for all tourists who living here. The museum is responsible for providing rubber stamp. If you want to collect rubber stamps, you need to go to the museum to attend their special activities, which change every week, every day. One museum holds special events, and 7 museums participate. If the tourist who didn't check out collected 3 or more rubber stamps, they could exchange them for special souvenirs in the hotel. For example, the discount of the loyalty room in the hotel or the local non-selling handicraft that won copyright in the hotel. In this cooperative system, all participants could gain benefit. For example, museum can attract more people to the museum without any extra cost. For the hotel, any guest who want to exchange souvenirs will stay for the last 2 days. And the consumption generated by the hotel in those 2 days will be much higher than the price of the souvenirs. This form will not cause the extensive economic pressure to the hotel. For the traditional culture industry, they can get continued financial support from the hotels, and they can also have a relatively good sales channel. Rubber stamps collection is very popular in Asia's tourism industry, especially in Japan and Taiwan. While meeting the collection needs of tourists, it is also a very good form of publicity for Glasgow when they upload stamps to social network. Moreover, this form of attracting tourists is relatively mature in Asia, but it is not used in many countries in the European tourism market. In exchange for souvenirs provided by the hotel, the museum can participate in the design to provide more inspiration and combine more Scottish traditional images with practical objectives. For example, the airport protectors I made can be combined with the shape of Highland yak, create more attractive souvenirs. According to this assumption, I draw a stakeholder map. The riverside area is the core. The figure contains main elements that need to be involved in the development of this hotel, such as advertisement, environmental protection departments, and others. At the end of this project, my idea is still not perfect. If this project wants to continue, I know I still need to make a lot of effort. I also know that it is not easy to find investors and negotiate with the local government to build a hotel near the river. So this is just my idea of developing Glasgow's culture tourism industry. I hope to have an opportunity to communicate with more Glasgow City Council officials and have a more comprehensive understanding of their efforts in tourism at present. I also want to communicate with people who are working at Macintosh Research Institute to discuss the possibility of restoring Macintosh architecture. With regard to this project, if everything can be true, Glasgow, full of Macintosh architectural design, might become a more famous architectural capital city than Spain. Charles Rennie Mackintosh is a genius, and I only hope that he and his design will always be brilliant. Finally, I made a visual design for PPJ. I applied K-Log style to cover design and put Macintosh in the most obvious place. The River Clyde, the museum, and the furniture elements he designed were distributed around him, and the roles he designed were used to unify the overall style. I used the most impressive pink color in Glasgow, hoping to make people who read this PPJ feel the enthusiasm of this city and the residents. Thank you for your watching. That's all my presentation and the project. Thanks to Pedro and Ian for their help during this project.